there's a rumor that Nick Caserio will be out as the Houston Texans GM after the draft, and that Adam Peters will replace him. This is big news. I mean, it kind of makes sense because they hired D'Amico Ryans. They gave him a 6-year deal. And if, they gave him the power that the Niners gave Kyle, then D'Amico's going to pick his guys. And his guy is Adam Peters. His guy is Bobby Slowick. That would be, what do you think of the Niners potentially losing Peters after the draft?
I feel like we're very critical of all people inside of the Niners, and I feel like deservedly so. That's what the job entails. I just feel like Adam Peters he's out of the line of fire of truly being scrutinized. He's the GM, but he's not the GM. He always gets credited when things are great, right? And I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve the reports that come out with his name on it, but being able to come up when you're doing good and then being able to just duck off into the shadows is not the job of a GM, so we don't really know everything that an Adam Peters would bring truly sitting in the seat. That's one, right? And if we're really going to do it, let's kind of have fun with it. So if Adam Peters can get credit, where's Adam Peters when we drafted Trey? Where's his input in that? Where's his input when we missed out on Solomon Thomas? Where was Adam Peters there? Where was Adam Peters when we missed out on Trey Sermon? Where was his input on that? So I understand that, we play on narratives, and he's always in a good light in our eyes, right? Because he's the wonderkind, the avant-garde outside thinker. At one point we were almost trying to give him credit for finding Brock until we delved.
Anytime anything good happens, it's like, oh, that must have been Adam Peters.
Right.
I've never heard of him doing anything bad. Yeah.
Right. And I'm not here to say that losing him wouldn't be a blow, but we do have a war chest around us. We have a scouting department that predates the coaching staff that we have here. This scouting department has been here since the McLuhan days.
And it predates Adam Peters big time.
Yeah, it predates Adam Peters, right? Yeah. So then we have John Lynch, who has been very shrewd in making the moves, making the mid-season moves and the front office moves that have always helped us down the road. I don't know how many of Adam Peters' fingerprints are on those decisions, right? But there's a reason why he's not the head man. Now, as far as fantasies are concerned, I guess it's always been whispered that Adam Peters is our GM in waiting, right? When John decides to go get his bag, right? So I can see how that could sting where somebody go ahead.
It just felt like, didn't it feel like Adam Peters was waiting around the last few years for John Lynch to leave? And he kind of got the feeling like, because he's been interviewing places, but this is a good job to have. And I think he was waiting around, but it doesn't look like John Lynch is leaving anytime soon. So maybe he decided,
the Cardinals are sniffing around too for Adam Peters. So So it's almost.
But it makes sense to go work with D'Amico, who and it makes sense for D'Amico to bring him in. It's always about who is. It's not necessarily nepotism, but it's all they want to work with people they know and trust, that they don't feel is going to backstab them or say one thing and do another once they get the job. I just think it's funny. It looks like D'Amico has the power in that organization right now. Like he's dictating.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing because at least they're locked in step, So
because remember, he had options, right? He could have went to a bunch of teams wanted him. I'm sure he was like, "Hey, look, if you want me, you got to give me a 6-year contract, and you got to let me bring in who I want to bring in." So. Nick Caserio, sorry.
Well, and that also goes to what you can glean from what is being said in interviews, right? Mm-hmm. So a D'Amico Ryans, a Mike McDaniels, a Robert Saleh, they're going in those interviews talking about process and infrastructure. They're going in there talking about the way things are done. They're not just talking about X's and O's. They're talking about, hey, listen, contractually, these guys need to be locked in step. We need to all be on the same page because they're more dealing with the Monday to Saturday right?
Yeah.
That's what gets you hired as a head coach, right? So when you start to see those moves about head coaches going out to go get their guy, their GM or their president or their certain coordinator, it's by no mistake that they've come from our enclave and they understand how we do business, and that's what's getting these guys hired, right? So losing Adam Peters for me is more of the same, right? Because we don't regroup, we reload. So there has to be somebody else there who, if you have a system the way we do, there's somebody there watching Adam Peters. We just don't know his name yet. So
you mentioned earlier Trey Lance. I'd be interested. The Niners as an organization have sort of decided. I don't know as an organization, but they seem to have decided to go forward with Brock. This is a sort of a quick pivot. Last year it was Trey, so I wonder if Adam Peters is behind that decision, or this is a good time for him to say, you know what, good luck with Brock. I'm going to go with D'Amico. We're going to start over. We're going to have Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, or maybe some mystery option behind Dorsey, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But I wonder if, a lot of people have been bailing on the Niners the last few years, coaches, front office guys, and now they're getting opportunities. But I wonder if there's been a disagreement of opinion on what to do at the most important position, and people who lose out in their argument leave. I wonder.
Well, this is eating high off the hog. Honestly, if you're making decisions like this, because now we're talking about leaving a winning organization to go get a Super Bowl, or leaving a winning organization to go to a lesser organization because you think you can do it better, right?
To go to a blank slate.
Yeah, that's not leaving a bad situation that you can't get better. So I feel like, our problems are our own, and this is the universe, right? This is the soup we swim in. Our problems are our own. But as soon as somebody leaves the 49ers, they are officially not a part of our organization anymore. And you are persona non grata as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, so, I don't think Kyle or John's going to sweat it, honestly.
Yeah, I wouldn't sweat it either.
Probably look at him as replaceable.
Yeah.
Haha, LOLOL is a new member. Thank you so much. That is really nice. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Christopher just gives me $5 because he's feeling generous. Thank you, Christopher.
5 is where it belongs.
Christopher has 5 on it, which is nice to know.